Stylish Naija YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys a whole lot for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. If you are new to my channel, if you have not subscribed already, I would appreciate if you hit on the subscribe button and then also hit on the bell to get an update whenever I upload a new video. That's just like basically the essence of hitting on that bell. Today I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew a drape cross dress. So you can see the picture up there. Someone actually sent me this picture to do an illustration on it, so that's what we're going to be doing today. It's going to be very simple and easy. I'll show you how to achieve those drape on the cross dress. Okay, so you can, if you want to register for my online classes, so you can see my number scrolling through the screen, just send me a message on WhatsApp and then I'll tell you what it entails for the classes. And you can also follow me on all of my social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram at Stylish Naija, Pinterest at Stylish Naija. Okay, so now let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to be making use of, I'm not going to, because of the drape, I'm not going to be cutting directly on my fabric because I'm going to waste fabric. So I'm going to be using a pattern to achieve this. That's the way we'll be able to get it. Is very simple. So those of you that don't like using patterns, please, I just watch this video to the end. You'll find out that it is very simple and easy. So this is our pattern of a basic dress. That's our basic bodice block for half cut. So this is the back pattern. So this is the back of the dress. That's the half cut of the back. So this is our bust point, and then this is the under bust, and then our full length. So the full length is 15.5. So when you are cutting a cross top, you cut is 15.5. When cutting a cross top, cut the back pieces first. So I've already cut out the back pieces. So now what you are going to do, you are going to get another fabric or another pattern paper. If you want to use, if it's the one that you are not going to be pleating, that's you are not going to be draping, you can just cut directly on your fabric. You will still get everything out. So since we are going to be draping this one, so that's why we're using a pattern. So for your cross, I'm going to be making use of 5 inches. So I have another bigger paper here. What you are going to do, you are just going to measure 5 inches like this. You measure 5 inches. So this 5 inches is what is going to serve as the cross. That is what we wrap. We actually help to wrap the dress, let it cover properly. So I'm just ruling it. So I'll use this. So this is like an extra 5 inches. You can decide to hide it in like this. We can hide that 5 inches. Let's just hide it to make it easy for us. And then you take your back piece. This is your back piece. You place it here like this. You know the 5 inches is hidden already. So you place it here. And then now what we're going to do now, we're going to trace out the front piece from our back piece. So for this back piece, if you are adding a zipper to your back piece, because you can see the dress there is stretchy. So most cross top, they really don't need zip because the neck is always open. You can wear them easily. So if you are going to be adding a zipper, so ensure you add a zipper to it to the back. But like 80% or 90% of cross dresses they don't really go with zip because of it is easy to wear, and most times you make them with stretchy fabric. So you place the back piece like this, and then we're going to cut out the front piece now. Let's just trace it out like this. So I'll just look this part a little bit. So this is the back the back neckline. Let me highlight it so that you will see it and understand. So this is the back neckline. I used 3 inches width and then 1.5 inches depth. So now we have the body frame of our dress. So now we're going to open up the other extra. We're going to open up back. So this is where our neckline. So let's trace it so that we will see it, so we'll not get confused. So this is the neckline. This is the edge where it stops. So you see the shoulder slope here. So this is where it stops. So now we know that this is where our neckline is stopping. So now let's continue. The next thing you are going to do now, once you have your paper, your pattern or your fabric open back, what I'm going to do, if you notice this top is not really open, it's not really exposed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come to this point like this part like this. I'm going to mark 8 inches or 7.5. I think I will do 7.5. 7.5 is just ideal. So I'll mark 7.5 here on this line. This is our extra 5 inches line. And then on this down part, I'm going to mark 5 inches upwards like this. So I'll mark the 5 inches on this part. So I just want you to note. So this is what we're going to use to create out our neckline. 5 inches on this side. If for those if it is a crop top, those ones that are very open, you can use 3 inches. And then the neck, you know, those ones that all of your business will be showing on top, you can use 3 inches. But this one, if you see, it is covered, so that is why we're using 5 inches on this. This is our center front now. So I'm just trying to explain it so you understand very well. So we use 5 inches here, and then on this line we use 8 inches, sorry, 7.5 inches downwards. Like, you can do 8 inches, depends on how wide. So what we are going to do now, we're just going to connect these 3 lines like this. You remember, this is the neckline part. So you see it, this is the neckline part. So make sure you include it, and then you are going to curve it in, let it go into that neckline part like that. So the next thing, I'm going to use my pattern curve like this to trace it out. I want it well traced out like this. So you can curve it however. If you want it, if you want a straight slant V, you can just give it a slant V. So it depends on how you want. So you could see how mine is looking like. So this part, I'll just blend this part in properly. So I hope you take that part in like this, and then I would open up. So this is our neckline now. So I've cut it open now. So this is the center part. So we just open it up, because you know our fabric is folded into 2. You can actually open it before you start. So this is our front piece. This is how simple it is to cut a cross top. For instance, if you are, let me open it up. If you are not doing the drape one, that is just how simple it is. So you place this like this. You see it is well covered. This one can never open any part of your body. And then this stays on top of it like this. You see how covered it is. So if you are cutting a normal regular cross top, you see in 2 minutes you are done with cutting it. But if you want those ones that the neckline is open, you just use 3 inches. That's on this part now. Once you use 3 inches, you find out that it is going to be very deep and open. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain. So we are done with a normal regular cross top. So now the next thing now is, how do we achieve those drape on our dress? It is very simple and it is very easy. So you choose one side. Which part do you want to drape on? Simple and easy. So just choose this piece, and let's keep this one on the side like this. So because this is the part we are going to be recreating. Very simple. Those of you that don't like using pattern, just watch. It is not difficult. It's not a difficult thing. So what you are going to do, you are going to measure how many inches interval you want to use. So for this, you note that the drape, they are not too much. So I'm just going to use 1 inch. I'm going to use 1 inch rather. 1 inch interval. So I have 1 inch here. This is just like to create pleats. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. When I say people, they say a pattern, I say it is not difficult. It's simple. So on this pattern, you are going to determine where you want your slash lines to get. So if you want the pleats to be very deep, you slash to the top. But if you notice from the pictures, the pleats are not really deep into it. So we are going to. So I'm just trying to place my curve properly. So I'm not going to get it to the top. So what I'm going to do on this part, I'm just going to come to like maybe 6 inches here and just create a slash line like this. So you see what I'm doing. This is just for me because I want to get those pleats. That's why I'm doing this. So these ones, they are not going to be as long as those ones that I did. So now we're going to measure. So for the first one, I used, okay, from down, for the first one, this is 10 inches. The second one, we're going to reduce it. Just however you want to reduce it. Depends on how deep you want it to be. So just reduce it. So we're done. What we are going to do now, we're going to cut them open just to, because we want to create drape. That is the reason. So it's not like it's rocket science. I'm just trying to explain it. So you just cut it open like this. So using slash and spread is a very simple technique. Once you master it, that's just the truth. I remember the first time I saw it, it was looking like magic in my eyes. So you see, we're done slashing our, just spread it now just to create pleats. It is very simple. Okay, what I'm going to do, normally I will transfer to my fabric, but I want to use a pattern paper to do this so you will see it clearly and understand what I'm trying to achieve. So let's use a pattern paper. So you just take another pattern paper like this and then place it. So after slashing it, this is how it will look like. So the next thing now, let's transfer to our fabric. So I'm going to cut out this one first before we cut out the slashed one. Okay, so I finished cutting out one side of the front and then the back piece. So I'm just going to put them on the side and then let's work with the other side of our front piece. So for the side of the front piece, if you notice from the picture the drapes are on one side, so that is why it's only one side we're pleating. So I want you to note that. So this is what I'm going to do. This is just a very simple way of doing this. I don't want to take it to pattern paper first and then, so I'll just transfer directly on my fabric so you understand how slash and spread is done. So I'll use my masking tape. I'm going to need it. I'm going to need my masking tape. So I'll just secure, because I don't want it to move. So I'll secure it down. And then here I'm going to take this like this. So I don't want to, if you notice, the pleats are not really too big. So I'm not going to spread it that much. It's just a tiny spread. So you just spread them down like this. Just spread them out like this. So I'm still going to measure. I'm using about 1 inch interval. Okay, so after spreading it will look like this. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut. I'm just going to cut. So you note what I'm doing. I'm cutting excess. Why I'm cutting excess is because I don't want my fabric to get truncated. So that is why I'm just cutting it excess. So I'll be able to do what I want to do. So I've cut it out excess. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use my chalk. I'm just going to put marks on these points like this part that has gap. The essence of me putting it is, it will help me to know where I'm going to pleat. So that's just the essence of me putting this, using my chalk to put the lines. You can do this in different ways, but I just feel this is like the simplest and easiest way to do this. So I've cut it out now. So I've marked them all out now. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to pleat all these points like this. So I could actually take out my paper, that's my masking tape and my pattern paper. So what you are just literally going to do now is these 2 points. Now you just cover up this part like this. like this. So you see, you cover it up back. So you see, once you cover it up, those 2 points now is covered, so the pattern is almost going back to the original pattern. So I've covered that one. So this one now also you cover up. So as you are covering it, as you are covering them, you are creating those drapes already on your piece. So I'll cover up this one also. I'll just keep doing that until I finish everything, and then I trim to fit. So I finished pleating that, but you note what I'm going to do. I'm not going to use this piece. I will not use this piece. So I'm going to get the second original piece, and then I'm going to place it neatly and nicely like this. So you see, I'm going to place it neatly and nicely like this, and then I will cut out. You know, the other one is so I'll use this now to cut out to fit. So I don't want to cut around my pins. I want my pins still secure. So now I'm going to trace it now to the normal using this. I'm going to ignore the second pattern paper because it is out of place. That's not the original shape again. So I'll use the original piece to trace. So you see it. So after cutting this now, so I can take off this pattern. I'm just going to cut. I don't want my pleats to scatter. So you see how it is looking. So now I cannot arrange my pleats properly. So you can even decide to put notches just to help you arrange your pleats neatly and nicely. So you see how it is looking. So the next thing, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this piece. I just want to check. So you see how it is looking. You see it is looking like what we have there. So you see all of our pleats on it neatly and nicely. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut out. So for the interfacing, what you are going to do for the pleat, you are going to, for the lining, you are going to cut out the lining, but the lining, you are not going to pleat the lining. So what I'm going to do now, this part, I'm going to join them. I'll just go and secure my pleats down. As I'm securing it, just make sure you arrange it properly and nicely. So you see it is simple. Just arrange it nicely on top. So this is the front. I'm going to place it very well for you to see. So you see everything is in place, and then this comes here like this. So like I told you, if you want the neckline to be wide, you can just go down more. So I'll just go and stitch here down and then iron it for you to see it very well. Okay, so at the end, so after securing it, you are going to have something like this. So you cut out another piece that you are going to use for the lining. So you cut. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you how you just cut it out, and then you are going to stitch it round like this on the neckline and then on the side like this. So I'll go ahead and do that and then join both of them. I'll bring it back and show you how to join them together. Okay, so after turning it, so you see how that's the back. So you see how it is looking. So I'm just trying to bring it close for you to see how the pleats are going to be looking closely. So at the end of the day, you are just going to the same thing that you cut out another lining for this other piece also, using, most times you just use a matching fabric, and then I'm going to show you how to place it now. So you place them like this on top of each other, like this, so you see how it is crossing. So there is another kind of cross. If you want this cross, if you want it to get to this part, we actually added extra 5 inches to the front piece. So if you are doing that, you add like 8 inches, between 8 and 10 inches, so that this front piece goes to the side panel. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. They have different kinds of wrap, so that goes into this part. So at the end of the day, so I'm just trying, I would just want you to see it properly. So at the end of the day, so you see how it is looking like. So I just want you to see it very closely. So if you want this part, if you want the neckline to be deep, so on this part we use 5 inches, so you can even use as much as 1 inch, because if you are doing this type that is really very cross, you can do 1 inch or 2 inch here, and then the neckline you extend it. You remember that 8 inches we measured, you just extend it to this part. So the reason why it will still not open up, why the breast part is not going to show, it is because you could see it is well crossed, well covered. So you could do that and you will still achieve it. So then what you're just going to do, the neckline, you're just going to cut it up from this part like this, so it will cross. And then there's still another kind of cross that will go into this part. So these are different kind of cross top. So thank you so much. If you find this video helpful, I will appreciate if you hit on the like button to make me know you appreciate what I did. So thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video. God bless you.